Good to be with you. Richard Cross in for Paul Gallo. And now Secretary of State Michael Watson joins us, kind of him to get out of bed early this morning, although I think there are a few other reasons that he had to get up early this morning as well. Secretary Watson, good morning on Election Day.
Good morning, my friend, and you are right. We were up early today and got a really good team with us out across the state today, so we're excited about a great turnout, we hope, and look forward to watching the results roll in tonight.
Yeah, so let's start with turnout. As I've kind of read things going into this particular election day, I feel like 2 or 3 weeks ago there were a lot of people that were really concerned about turnout. But as we've gotten closer to election day and we've seen those absentee ballots come in, feels like those projections have changed and people think that turnout is going to be very good, if not perhaps record-setting today. Is that possible?
It could be, and you're exactly right. The absentee turnout was a little bit slow coming in, and then the last week or so it just exploded, and we surpassed 2019 numbers by a couple thousand, and it could be higher than that with mail-in votes that may still be out there. And by the way, if you do have a mail-in ballot, make sure that you postmark it by today, and it has to be received within 5 days to count. So just wanted to throw that information out there as well.
If we're comparing year over year, 2019 is the comparison, 2015 before that, right? We're not going back to 2021 to look at because that's kind of apples and oranges based on what was on the ballot?
That's exactly right. We're comparing these to statewide races.
So, Senator Watson, why is it that we have seen such a massive spike in so many places on these absentee ballots? I was looking at some numbers that I had. Northeast Mississippi, an 800% increase over 2019 in Alcorn County. Pontotoc County up over 200%. And there are a lot of counties that have had that huge jump. Why is that?
Yeah, many times you'll see those are due to local races. You'll have a contested sheriff's race or a contested legislative race that has drawn a lot of attention at the local level. You also see, that happens because people spend a lot of money on TV and on mail pieces. So when folks' attention is brought to a race, they start to turn out. And I'll tell you this, we've done a really great job, our comms director, Liz Johnson, and her team of an Elections 101 campaign, informing Mississippians about the process, making sure that they understand, hey, here's how it works. And I think as people become more comfortable, they tend to engage more. So I would give them credit as well for the hard work we've done at our office.
And looking at those numbers, I mean, 2 of the big sheriff's races that are hotly contested, you were talking about just a second ago, DeSoto County, mail-in ballots up 304%. Harrison County down on the coast got a big one there as well, up over 200%. So it feels like people are certainly engaging. What are the things, Michael, that Secretary Watson, that people need to remember as they go to the polls? Obviously, ID has been in place for a while now. Seems to have gone exceptionally well, but still a reminder that you got to have that photo ID.
That's exactly right. We've got 10 different forms you can use. Voter ID in Mississippi has been wildly successful, and other states look at what we do. So I think that's a highlight for us. I want to mention a couple of polling changes in the Hinds County there, since folks are listening. The Pine Haven precinct was formerly located at Sumner Hill Middle School, has changed and it's moved to the Clinton Fire Station at 1973 Pine Haven Drive. And then the Eudora Welty Library voting precinct in Supervisor District 5 there in Hinds County has been relocated to the old Capitol Inn. So just want to make sure that folks know that. And then lastly, I'd say this, if you see anything that looks a little bit odd, that may not make quite some sense to you, please reach out to us. 1-800-829-6786 is our hotline number, and had a lot of calls come in yesterday, so folks are really paying attention, and I appreciate that and look forward to a great election day.
All right, so when you say if you see something that looks or feels a little funny, give us a call. sos.ms.gov is the website. All the information that you need under the Y'all Vote tab. What are we talking about, though? When you say keep an eye out if something doesn't feel right, what might we be talking about that voters could potentially run into?
Well, I mean, any type of thing. Sometimes you'll see folks. Maybe it'll be poll workers who are going into the booth with people, and maybe multiple people are hanging out in a booth with somebody voting. There are things that you see that you just know. Wait a minute, something may not be right there. If election machines aren't working, if a machine is down and long lines and folks maybe not reporting that. Anything that you can see that may not just look right, please give us a call, and we'll touch base with the circuit clerks there, with the election commissioners, and with the poll workers. And many times you'll see us out around the state. We'll be in about 50 counties today with Secretary of State team members, making sure the law is being followed and making sure that things are going as smoothly as possible. So just reach out to us. Again, anything you think may just not look right, give us a call.
So we talked turnout to start this. I mean, obviously the polls have been open for 14 minutes right now. Were there any early reports that were coming into you or your office from across the state of Mississippi of lines from kind of early voters, what people are encountering right out of the gate this morning?
Not yet. Thank the Lord. Many times.
Well, I would hope it would be good news at this point. Hey, we got a ton of people that are lined up to vote, ready to go. I didn't mean bad news yet.
Yeah, I got you. Look, one thing that we talk about is there's never a perfect election, and sometimes that means, hey, look, the poll workers may have shown up late, and the doors aren't quite open at 7 o'clock. So that's one of the things that I would mention that folks would call if you see something again that your poll workers may not be there yet. But we hadn't seen anything yet. Hadn't heard any calls yet. But again, yesterday was very steady on the call line. So folks are engaging, and we'll see. Hopefully, nothing bad goes wrong.
Remind people of the rules on voting times. They open at 7 a.m., they close at 7 p.m., but sometimes there's a little bit of a caveat on the close time, and it has to do with being in line.
That's exactly right. So if there are long lines at 7 o'clock, as long as you're in that line by 7 p.m., you will be allowed to vote. So that's an important piece for folks to remember as they go to the polls today.
What are the rules for campaigns and supporters of campaigns as it pertains to voting locations? And we'll wrap it up there. Just about a minute left.
Yeah, so make sure that you're at least 150 feet away from the entry. And then you can't loiter within 30 feet. So those are the two kind of specific rules. And we had a lot of questions about that come in. So you're going to see some aggressive campaigns today. And that's another one of those things that we say, hey, if you see something that looks a little bit odd, give us a call. But as long as they're outside of the entryway, 150 feet, they can campaign for their different prospective candidates.
Yeah, we've seen some aggressive campaigns over the last few weeks. No reason to think that on Election Day that would necessarily stop. Secretary of State Michael Watson, thanks as always for spending a few minutes with you. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Richard. Take care, buddy.
Michael Watson, Secretary of State in Mississippi. Election Day in the Magnolia State. We got the